Making a video right now while Vivian and our granddaughter Beth is in Walmart up in Waynesburg. I just thought I would set up my camera here on one of these little short tripods and put it on my steering wheel and see how it works out. And I don't know exactly what to talk to you about, but I come across a piece of paper the other day where I had a note written on there to remind me of a subject I might want to speak about sometime. And it wasn't a great big idea. It was just one little thing. So I thought I would try it to see how this works out today. In one of the videos that I've made before, especially the one about ginseng, it's actually the most popular of the videos that I've made so far. And I mentioned in there how we used to walk through the woods, gather up ginseng, and help it to be, increased in population by planting the seeds and all that. And what we used to do with it is we would take the ginseng and take it over into Cherokee trading post or fur post where I used to take my furs and when I trapped, and we would get the money for the ginseng and use it to rent a house down at the Outer Banks. And I just heard this morning that the 5 houses down there on in one of the towns, Buxton, was destroyed by the sea, by the Atlantic Ocean. We've got a couple of hurricanes coming up through there, and 5 of them fell into the water, into the ocean. And these are big, beautiful homes. Now, you can go to the video that I made on ginseng and see an example of the kind of a house we used to rent. They're beautiful. Anyway, we were down there one year, and coming back home, a funny thing happened. I don't know exactly how to say it. I got to watch how I say it. But we were coming back home from having stayed down there for, about 9 or 10 days on the Outer Banks. And at this point, we got up early in the morning, was traveling home. We were in by, I'm trying to remember the name. I think it's Elizabeth City. And a couple of things actually happened that was kind of funny. I figured, well, before we get committed to a nice, big, long drive back up to Pennsylvania, while we're here on the mainland, we got off the islands, and we're on the mainlands in Elizabeth City. We're going to fuel up. Well, we had actually about 4 cars traveling together. And 1 or 2 of the cars didn't need any gas, and a couple did. So I got gas. I went inside and paid for it. And I knew the rest of the family was milling around here and there. Some was in there buying drinks to take on the ride and other stuff. But I paid for the gas. I went back out and got in our car. And I drove around the building. And I parked on an alley in the back, and so that I could look across and see everybody else. And they could see me. And we were in the lead car. And I knew that when they all got done, they probably would come over and line up behind us, and we'd all take off together. So my one son, Jake, he is a great guy to have with you, doing anything, anywhere. He's so helpful. And he's a pretty smart boy, too. Anyway, I'm sitting there, and I'm looking at the back of the garage, the gas station, the filling station. All the pumps were completely on the other side out by the main front. And this alley went up behind it. Now it probably was 60 feet away from the back of the building when I saw the door open up. And Jason, stepped out onto this back alley. He looked this way, he looked that way, to the left and the right. And he was in the middle of an alley. And then, oh, there he went. He went down, he turned to his right and walked down just a few yards there, maybe 25 or 30 feet, and opened up an outside door and went in. And I found out later on when we got home what happened there. He said he went into the front while somebody else was getting gas in a car he was riding, and he went in and walked up to the person behind the counter there who at the cash register, and he said, do you have a restroom? And the fella leaned over and said, yeah. He said, you see that door down there? And it was a long hallway with a door. And Jake said, yeah. He said, go through that door. So Jake did. He walked down through there between the potato chips and the candy bars and down the hallway up to a door on the wall, opened it up and stepped out into an alley on the back street. And I got to see it happen. He was looking around and he thought the guy was just trying to get rid of him. That's when he stepped out on the sidewalk a little further, and when he looked back, he noticed that door off to the side. Here it was a bathroom door, and it went back into the building. So that was one thing that happened with the bathroom, going down there to the Outer Banks and back, that was funny. But another one happened one time. This was the same kind of a deal. We were coming back from the Outer Banks, and we were coming up a different route, and we were going to pass a couple big towns, and we were on the interstate, and there was this plaza that had shopping centers in it and everything, and there was an exit off of the interstate so that we could exit and go over to that plaza. Well, we did. I'll tell you folks what, I had to pee. I mean, bad. You know how it is. All human beings do. It got to the point where it was hurting and it was going to overcome me and I was going to get wet. But I saw that exit and I took it and I got off, and I just told everybody, you go ahead, I'll find you. I ain't going to leave without you. I got to go to the bathroom. And I took off and walking across that parking lot and let everybody there. Well, they all got out and decided they're going to go in and buy something, maybe get a hamburger or some kind of a, donuts or coffee or something. Anyway, boy, I walked into there and there's a big long hallway, and I went straight across and pushed open this bathroom door, and I went inside. There's not a soul in there. And I went into a stall. I don't know why. It was the closest thing to me, but I slammed the door shut, and oh my goodness, I just made it in time. Oh, there was nobody else in there. It was real silent. Time to go, and I heard the door open up. Guess what? It sounded like the voice of women. 3 women come in, a cackling and a laughing and a hollering, and they were starting down along the stalls. What? They were women's voices. I got to tell you, I did this. I picked my feet up and I was on the commode holding my feet up just so that they couldn't see my men's shoes. And I wondered, what am I going to do? Well, they turned the sinks on, washing their hands or something, and giggling and laughing, and the first thing you know, I heard them gone. One of them went out and the other 2, and then the door went shut. And I went, oh my goodness, I think they left, but I didn't know for sure. So I waited for a little while, and then the feeling come over me, what are you doing sitting here? You better get get the heck out of here before somebody else comes in. So I jumped up, I walked over to the door, I yanked it open, and the first thing I saw was straight across the hallway on the opposing wall was a big sign that said men's room. Boy, I busted out of there, and I think, if I remember right, a couple people in our family saw me coming out of the women's restroom. I never lived that one down yet. See, sometimes there's things in life that takes your attention away, just like this one. Here comes my brother.
On the frame,
Yeah.
you could, the boards were gone. You could look, you could look up in and see the receptacles.